Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalang.
Hare Krishna. Welcome to our channel, Bhagavad-gita. Here it is, because we have it. Bhagavad-gita as it is, translation and commentary by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and my name is Latika. So we are coming closer to the end of the 11th chapter, but this is still what we are talking about, the universal form, which is Krishna is manifesting himself in this universe. So it is his form, but it is not his eternal spiritual form in the spiritual world. And Arjuna has just witnessed this. So Krishna is speaking to Arjuna. The previous couple of verses there, Arjuna has been describing. Maybe you followed the channel and then you've heard it already, but maybe you're not. So I'm just starting like this. He's seeing everything. It's there, the moon and the radiant colors and his gaping mouth and glowing eyes. And when we speak about fear of God, this is the kind of aspects we are speaking about. This is not Krishna's internal, real, actual identity as such, but it's not nonetheless his own manifestation. And many waves of river flow into the ocean, so do these great warriors enter blazing into your mouths. And then Krishna was mentioning, I am time I am, the great destroyer of worlds. And therefore get up, prepare to fight, conquer your enemies and enjoy a flourishing kingdom. They are already put to death by my arrangement, and you, Savyasachin, can be but an instrument in the fight. That's where we left the speech last time. So I'm continuing to read text 34. Dronang cha bhishmang cha jayadratang cha karanang tathanyan apiyodhaviran maya hatang svang jahima vyatishta yudhasvajitasi rane sapatnan. Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karna, and the other great warriors have already been destroyed by me. Therefore kill them, and do not be disturbed. Simply fight, and you will vanquish your enemies in battle. So I have to say this, that the first chapter of Bhagavad-gita, I kind of skipped that, because that is very much the situation coming out of Mahabharata, which is the history of ancient India. We're in a certain situation, and all these names are coming up and situations. And I was thinking, let's start with Bhagavad-gita because it's mainly philosophical. And if we're not coming out of the Mahabharata, that chapter will maybe just be a little confusing. But here we are with all these great warriors, and the situation is such that all these people have assembled, and it's not it's not that they are drafted from all classes of society, but they are all warriors, they are all fighters. They are all well prepared and not forced into the situation as such, but still they have taken sides. And Arjuna's reluctance to take part in this fight was very much because of that, because they were all people he knew. They were his teachers, his cousins, and so on. And now Krishna is saying, you're not going to kill anyone. That's what the second chapter was all about. The soul cannot be killed. Of course, we cannot use Bhagavad-gita as an excuse to go out on a rampage and just randomly killing people left and right. Certainly not. In this world, we can speak on many levels. Bhagavad-gita mostly addresses the level of the identity of the soul, the real, that reality that lies behind all the other realities. Because certainly it's also a reality that I'm sitting here in a sofa and I have lights in my face and there's a camera. 100 years from now, I won't be sitting on this sofa. That is for sure. But I will still be an eternal spirit soul. So that some of the dharma, some of the duties or religion or moral codes, they are for the here and now. And generally they are also helpful for the eternal situation of the soul, at least moving it in the right direction. But the Sanatan Dharma, the eternal religion, the eternal nature, Prabhupada sometimes says dharma is a word you cannot translate it straight as religion, because it also means duty, it also means nature. Just like water is wet, salt is salty, fire is warm. So the soul is eternally a servant of God, and when we try to avoid that, that nature comes out in other ways, because we're always serving somebody. And here Arjuna was having second thoughts. Why would I be here to kill a lot of people just to gain a kingdom? And Krishna says that's not what it's all about. It's about what he also says earlier on, that yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutanam. Yes, my Sanskrit is slipping. But what he is saying is that we are all in this material world, and Krishna knows that we made that choice. He knows that that's not really our true nature, and therefore he sets up these systems of dharma, religion, to help everybody to connect back to their spiritual identity and their relationship to God. And some of those are more materialistic than others, and the pure love from the soul for God that manifests in active loving service, that is not even religion anymore. That is the nature of the soul. So Arjuna is speaking on some other level, and therefore Krishna is saying, no, first you understand the nature of the soul, then you understand what I'm here to do. Krishna comes here and displays his pastimes, and then you understand your relationship as my servant, and that's sometimes in a very beautiful Syrian spiritual sense of meditation or offering flowers, and that's also sometimes right here. It's about that situation that was unbearable on the earth with all these powerful kings and so much, how to say, a situation that wasn't conducive for anyone's spiritual life. And he's asking Arjuna and his brothers, you be kings on this earth, because you can show the good example, you can keep up this situation that is for everyone's benefit. And Krishna doesn't have to ask someone to do the task, and Krishna doesn't have to come personally, because we're all going to die. This nature is arranged in such a way. But here Krishna is taking part, and he is engaging his devotees, but he's telling Arjuna, the whole situation is already solved. I have solved it. I have taken care of everything. But I'm asking you to do this as a service. And I'm asking you to take the glories, because that's Krishna. I'm reading the purport. Every plan is made by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he's so kind and merciful to his devotees that he wants to give the credit to his devotees who carry out his plan according to his desire. Life should therefore move in such a way that everyone acts in Krishna consciousness and understands the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the medium of a spiritual master. The plans of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are understood by his mercy, and the plans of the devotees are as good as his plans. One should follow such plans and be victorious in the struggle for existence. So again, sometimes when we look at religion, they look very complicated, and they look very, like I hear that. I actually hear that a lot. People are saying all the problems in the world are because of religion. And that's not true. All the trouble in this world are because of people, is one way of putting it. But of course, without people, what would the world be like? So all the trouble in the world are because of our conditionings, of our, how to say, those qualities that are not so useful. We have envy, we have fear, we have greed, we have so many things that motivate us, but not in a pure way. And that can be seen in the daily activities, and there are so many examples. We can see it on a political level, we can see it in the way that we are apparently not being very far-sighted. We look at nature and we just think, oh yeah, let's burn it all down so that we can be warm today, and then tomorrow there will be nothing. So that can be understood. But we have to bring things on up to a spiritual level, and then things may not be entirely clear. So you read these verses and then we're thinking, oh, Old Testament, God is striking fear into people and throwing, what do you call them? Fire and brimstone. That's not what I want to say. I want to say lightning. And then God is very scary, and then we fear him, and then we will bow down to him and do what he wants. And now we're modern people, and we don't want that kind of God, so therefore we reject God out of hand. The thing is, Krishna is not doing that to force us into obeying him. Because this material world is a place for our free will. The spiritual world is also a place of free will. But that place is very harmonious, because there is a unity in purpose. Everyone is there as a lover of Krishna, in different capacity, in different personalities, different activities, but there is there's nothing else than the soul's real eternal nature, real eternal relationship with Krishna. And that's very beautiful and loving and spiritual. And then, because that is based on free will, it cannot be otherwise. If it's based on love, it has to be based on free will. Love cannot be something that is forced or decided or a rule. It has to be a spontaneous affair of the heart. But that free will also, if it's not directed towards Krishna, then it will create this harmony, because in the spiritual world, Krishna is in the center always. And then everything else flows naturally and spontaneously and harmoniously back and forth between everybody who is involved. This material world is the opposite. Here everyone has themselves as the center, or maybe the little extended center, me and my family, me and my nation, me and my football club, and everybody else is less important, or sometimes even seen as the enemy. So Krishna is not directly interfering with this, but he's setting up the situation so that those who have been sufficiently experienced in this material world will always have the ability to turn back to him. And he's also giving us this, because that's what religion is meant for. It's like a systemic way of turning back to Godhead. And in the modern world, we don't like to look at it like that. We like to think that we will solve everything with our rational intelligence and by investigating in this world. And we can find many things that way. We can even, by using our intelligence, come to the point of understanding the difference between matter and spirit, and but we will never be able to investigate our way to the spiritual world. So Krishna gives us a system that we can follow in order to be purified and in order to be directed. And therefore in this Bhagavad-gita we see how he wants to have the world run by people who are assisting in that. It's not that he needs everyone to obey him, because if he wanted everyone to obey him, he could just control them. That is not what Krishna is after. He's after, for himself, he wants our love. But for everybody in this world, he wants them to have the best possible opportunity to come to their senses, to gain their eternal spiritual life in the spiritual world, in the Satchitananda experience of eternality, knowledge and bliss. That is our nature and that is our right. So yeah, I don't want us to stumble on this concept of God as the, how to say, punishing, controlling, Like, I think that's a line somewhere in the Bible, that I'm a very jealous God, and you cannot worship anybody except me. It's not out of Krishna's jealousy. It is more that he wants us to understand reality, and if we don't, then we have the material world, and we can be in any sort of idea of our own identity that we like. But he wants the world to be set up in such a way that there is always opportunity for us to turn back, that there aren't too many obstacles. So that's where we are now, in the 11th chapter. Thank you very much. As usual, you can find some information below. I put links for all the chapters, so you can find previous. We're in the 11th chapter. We're almost in the middle, but a little further ahead. So you can find everything there, and please ask questions if you have any questions. I'll come back and respond to them as soon as I can. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for watching. We aim for updates every Tuesday and Friday. Please come back. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down there. We also have some links and information for you. And there is, of course, the subscribe button. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
I'm a Hare Krishna, and I approve this message. Subscribe.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,